Hey there guys, Elite Legionario here, bringing you a 1 vs 1 for Total War Rome 2. And this is a type of rush army I built for the Arverni. I found it to be very effective, but however this was a really bad army to bring for the fight here, because you can see my opponent's using Sparta. Now it's not that the Arverni can't beat Sparta. Their Oathsworn, in my opinion, is every bit as good as anything that Sparta's got. In fact, I would say the Oathsworn is better than Royal Spartans. However, the problem is what was happening when I was in the screen. I hadn't decided what faction I was going to take, and I was thinking of strategies and stuff, and ideas of what builds to bring and stuff like that. And then I did not pay any attention at all. I was looking at the unit statistics and all sorts of things, and didn't pay any attention to the timer. So when I looked up, I found I had about 12 seconds to choose an army, and I had only just selected the Arverni. So I just sort of went in, automatically selected one of my presets, which was this, and it's a good army, it's a good rush, it's very effective against Rome and the other two barbarian factions. I mean, it would be okayish against Sparta, but I would have altered it for Sparta because the cavalry it's not really the necessary part of it, so it does put me at quite a disadvantage. So anyway, it consists at its core of 5 units of Oathsworn, a very solid infantry corps, of course, very powerful. Then on the flanks, it's got 2 units of naked warriors, followed by 2 spear nobles and 2 heavy horse. I sacrificed the noble cav for heavy horse. I think heavy horse is still really good, and I used the spear nobles to support it. Basically the idea is to pin down from the front with the Oathsworn, which are extremely solid, strong infantry, which won't have much trouble getting around it, holding it rather, and then outflanking with the naked warriors and going frenzy. And it works very well, but the problem is, if the faction like Sparta that's just absolutely going to be loaded with infantry, there's so many lines of infantry and so many of them to face, that's going to be extremely difficult. As you can see, this guy's got, I think, 10, I think it's 10, is it? 8, I think it might be actually 8 or 10 Spartan pikemen. Then he's got about, I think he's got like a Heroes of Sparta, the 2 Heroes of Sparta, 2 Royal Spartans, and I think it's 3 regular Spartan Hoplites, and he had 4 Tarentine Cav. What I do is I just completely ignore the cavalry, basically. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and use my cavalry to try and like feint charges on him, to try and break him up and kind of mess with his micro, because I don't want to face this frontal. However, I didn't start to move to the flanks until too late, so what I decided to do is retreat back and break into 2 sections, to try and just fight sides of his army, and then basically try and dismantle any parts. Basically I don't want to fight him as a whole because I'll lose it. So here I charge into this fight with these Tarentine Cav, which is a fight I shouldn't have any problem winning. However, I did it on the wrong side, and now his infantry is going to pull in. But what I see is he's pulling all his guys this way, so I decided to use my Cav to kind of hit these guys while they're all facing the wrong way. So I'm trying to just wreck his formation, but I've got to say this guy had some pretty decent micro with Sparta, because he uses it in the following battle after this. So here, as you can see, I'm going to charge these dudes. I probably should have chosen that other unit, and I get a very good charge on them because I kept them right in the flank here, which is actually really good, but it doesn't do as much damage as I would have liked, unfortunately. So over here, what I'm aiming to do is try and encircle my opponent. However, these guys, I take too long getting them into the action. I was having a bit of trouble microing it, and as you can see, already one of my heavy horses is completely stuck in this melee, and I cannot get it out, not without taking some huge casualties, which is bad. I have my general in there, and I'm just trying to use him to outflank. As long as I can get around these pikes, and this unit of spear nobles, I forgot about it. That was a mistake. So there were mistakes. I'm trying to outflank here. The heavy horse there, that's not so good. Yeah, my heavy horse is about to break up, but my Oathsworn will very, very quickly be able to breach a lot of this. But he's just got huge numbers down on me. and I was trying to use my O-Sworn and stuff to stop any preceding outflanking manoeuvres. But they're not really engaging. I don't know why they were doing that. Here I tried to kind of complete encirclement, but I haven't got enough troops pinning this lot down. So even though I get a pretty solid charge into there, I thought the fact that I had a good surround on these Spartans would really shake up their morale, but it didn't really do quite as much as I wanted it to. I'm using rally and whatever else I can. He's doing a pretty good job with this pikeman kind of blocking me. I don't think I spotted this, and my heavy horse ran straight into that, so some nasty stuff there. Over here, I do manage to outflank this pike unit, and that'll break it. Spartan pikemen, they're good holders. They can hold a force, but they're certainly not going to defeat it. Here he tries a rear charge with this Tarentine cav, but I'm not particularly concerned about that. They're not going to do much damage, not to Oathsworn in the back like that. But I just, even though I've got him encircled here, or more or less encircled, although he broke off there, a bit of a risky move here, as I got my general in the thick. And as I said, the problem was that even though I kind of mucked up his army by trying to out-micro it, as you can see, quite a lot of his troops are routing, but so are mine, and he can afford to lose more because he's got more. I think he's got like at least 10 more infantry units on me, and I didn't use my cavalry all that effectively. Even though I tried to catch them out of formation, it didn't really work. And that is really, really bad. And a couple of these units I left hidden back for too long. And stuff like the Spartan pikeman surviving as long as it did, I couldn't support as fast as I wanted to. Now my general's getting kind of hammered here bad. I cannot afford that. I really, really can't afford to lose him. But this is a good build. It's very effective against Rome. It's very effective against the Iceni. It's very effective against the Suebi. It's very effective against infantry-based, sword and shield based factions. It's very, very effective there. They work pretty good against Galatian Royal Guard for Egypt. A little more tricky to work against pikes because you've got to try and outflank things. It was looking good at this point. I thought perhaps I might still be in with a chance here. Look at these naked guys. Thank God they've got a loincloth on. I won't zoom in too close to their ass. I'm sure no one wants to actually look at that. But they're good. They're a good flanking force. They've got they're very, they're quite aggressive. They do quite well. So I was thinking if I could knock his general out, I might be able to recover this. But I was really worried about my general there. So here's a bit of a charge from a few of my cav, right to those Royal Spartans. So this was a fantastically fun fight, but basically really it was the wrong build, but I wasn't intentionally going for this build. I was rushed, as I said. It could work, but I think he needed better micro than I had, I think, to do it. And I enjoyed it. I was kind of just a bit annoyed at myself for kind of not paying the attention. That was my fault. The only real weakness, I think what gave my opponent the advantage just is so much infantry, and I just didn't have enough for it, and my cavalry was of limited use here, because he would just be able to keep seeking lines. I tried to use my cavalry to charge units that were out of formation or in the flanks to break them up, kind of shift their formation and kind of out micro them, and it kind of worked, but he kind of recovered it and did a good job. But he's certainly going to lose a lot of men, though. This isn't going to be an easy victory for him. And one for one, I personally think Oathsworn are better than Royal Spartans and Heroes of Sparta to myself. They do have very high defense, though, the Heroes of Sparta and the Royal Spartans. Very high. But I would definitely think Oathsworn are better, though. But they're only losing here because my general's gone and because they've got fighting multiple units at once. But I think Oathsworn are still one of the best sword and shield infantry units in the game. I think now Praetorian Guard and Oathsworn are relatively even. I've found them to be, it kind of varies. I haven't really found out which is decisive. I mean, on the original release, the Oathsworn were undisputedly the best, but they've been since kind of nerfed a bit to make it more reasonable. So here's my last unit, Spear Nobles. Now this is another extremely good unit. This will fight well in infantry battles and in cavalry battles. It's very, very solid, a very, very good unit. The Arverni are still a very good faction, but the thing with the Arverni is that they don't have a very large pool of units. They've like 3 very, very good units, but not a very not much variety to work with. but I certainly like that Gaul has been represented much stronger than it was in the original. That is a good thing. So I mean, look at these Spartans. Spartans look fantastic. That one's got the guy's got the red cape as well. Very cool. But so do these Gauls. They look awesome as well. It was just I think the wrong build, but I was rushed, as I said. But it was a very good game to my opponent. If we look over this battlefield, there's plenty of dead Spartan units on this battlefield. It's not just all Gaul troops there, or Arverni troops. But look at these spear nobles. This is like 6 units holding it down, and it's actually putting up a good fight. So they are a very, very good unit. So extremely efficient against cavalry, and a good infantry unit as well. So I mean, it is well worth using the Arverni in battle. It's very good at destroying Rome, I found, if you do it right. Rome can kill it very good as well, though, if you do it right as well, but I found them to be very effective against Rome. Those Oathsworn are incredibly powerful infantry and should not be at any point underestimated. They have been capped a bit, or not capped, I mean nerfed a bit, but they're still no slouches. So here's where my guys broke, but they did very well in the end there. So I think what kind of got me here was the fact that my opponent just had so much infantry, and it was all spears, so it was kind of tricky to sort of outdo it. But if I remember, he had about 700 more troops than me, and I had about 450 to 500 more kills than him. But even after all that, I just didn't have enough. But it was the wrong build. So you've got to be careful, guys, that you use the right build. And I wouldn't have bought this build if I'd been paying more attention to the clock. I would have, built more. I probably would have brought more Oathsworn, and I probably would have brought Peltists, because Peltists are very good against at least pikes, and he was front row of pikes. I could have thinned them out pretty bad, and then my Oathsworn could have broken them pretty quick. And then I would have brought more Fanatics too, I think. Or probably would have been better to use more Oathsworn, to be honest, though, because the Fanatics are not going to be nearly as good as those Spartans, but the Oathsworn certainly are. But anyway, guys, you could never really predict these things. It was a very good game, and it certainly didn't go down easily, so hope you enjoyed that one. I have another battle against the same guy, and he'll use Sparta again, but I won't tell you who I'm using just yet. Different approach though. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon next time.